You have to have a lot of courage, you have to have a lot of persistence and character to work with us. I realized that for me it started to become more painful not to learn from the lessons of the mistakes of myself than of repeating them. One of the biggest lessons that I've gained personally, and I believe that it would help many people who don't have it yet. Where did I start and where am I now? I started without knowing anything about AR. I just knew that there is a problem, which was my problem in construction. The way how we built was quite inefficient, and I was honestly thinking, just by myself, isn't there a better way of doing this? And so now, the next is like, where are we now? Well, now we have customers, we have an investor, and we have people who believe in our mission, which is a very great moment for me personally. And we have a working software, we have a working product, and we are starting to also attract people who are very good at what they do. So yeah, I've improved a lot from where I started and where I'm now with the journey. Yeah, I faced a lot of challenge when I was building it myself, and so when you build something completely new that no one has done in the world yet, there is going to be a lot of challenges. And I personally overcame those challenges by just being persistent. I just kept going. I remember one week when I was like on a very tight timeline, and I woke up 3 a.m. and I started coding, and eventually it started working. And I did that for a few days. Thankfully it was not weeks or months of that kind of a wake-up time. But that's how I just attacked the problems and I solved the problems. That's my approach of going all in to whatever I'm doing. So what have I done and what concrete achievements have I achieved? Okay. Well, I've coded from scratch a working application for AR classes. That's what I did without prior experience, of course. Didn't have it because I came from other fields. And the achievements are, we have a working product, we have good connection with our customers, we have customers who believe in what we are building, and we have people who are helping us to bring this vision to life, and we also have an investor. So when did I decide to take the leap to do this? Immediately when I got the idea. It was like so clear that this is what I have to do to help the industry. So when I got the idea, I just immediately started to work on it. What's the story behind of selling the first product and meeting the first user? Well, I simply called. So in the early days, I was calling sort of everybody that I could find a way to call them. So I called this person and he was like, cool, let's do it. And then I said like, you're free on this time, etc. We met, we talked, and when I introduced the idea, he got like quite excited, like, whoa, well, this would be helpful. And I was like, okay, that's good. We had like a mutual thing there. And so then I started to do like testing on it. I tested many ways of like how should it be done. And then we found a quite good way of doing it, the best way we could find. And then I contacted to this person's manager, and I just convinced them of this because it wasn't that hard, because this manager, this director was already into this, and he knows that this is going to be the feature. So that kind of came naturally, I would say. I wouldn't take too much credit on that. But at least I called many people, and I was persistent and proactive on what needed to be done. Is that it? Yeah, I thought you. Okay, one more time. Yeah. So, what problem is our company trying to solve? There are a few things that you have to do in order for you to do construction. So, first you have to know what you're going to build. Then you have to know where you're going to build it, and then when you're going to build it and how it will be done. Okay, all these steps you have to know. And what we are solving here is what we are going to build and where we are going to build it. And that is much more efficient to communicate what is going to be built and then where we are going to build it, because of the accuracy and precision of our product. Simply the two main reasons that kept me going: that there was others who cared about what I did, and that I believed from the bottom of my heart that it's really helpful if we can make this work. So that's why I never ever give up. The most difficult moment was where I had like weeks of struggle and the product was not working, and also that time the user, the customer that I had didn't have much of an interest to it, and so that was really hard to go through it, because it's like you're going through this pain and then you have people who are telling you that you are going to fail. That felt very, very hard in the moment when I was there. And the reason is simply because if you say something many times, then at some point you will start to believe it. So you better not let those people come near you who tell you that you're going to fail too much. You have to like kind of balance between these people who believe in it, who don't, and then you can find the non-biased balance there. Did I ever have doubt is the question, and the answer is yeah, of course. I think everyone has doubts when they do something new, right? And that's part of the process, but you cannot let these voices control you, and you have to kind of overcome them in the process of going through it. So the doubt is not the problem. The problem is listening to the doubt. So I prefer not to do that too much, so I can keep going whatever am I facing. The question is, what am I particularly proud when I look back? I would probably say that it ended up being that I made the product myself. Initially, I was not planning to do that, and because I was not able to attract the good enough talent, like initially nobody believes you, right? It's like sort of crazy to do something new, right? And so that's why I needed to do it, and I did it. Now it's done, and so that's one of the things. Second is the hard week of a very cold winter here, when I had to wake up like very early. It was -20 and I was testing the product outside. That was one of the moments which I kind of felt this.
Yeah, I really much like you when you say -20 degrees. So.
Yeah, it was terrible, you know. The hands, like you have to, because the learnings, yeah. Certainly it's the importance of feedback loop in whatever you're doing, and kind of measuring the process at the same time, but like reflecting and learning from your own mistakes and also the successes. So that is the most major thing that I would tell to anyone who wants to do something, whatever it is. You have to learn, and you have to go through the trouble, the pain of learning. And when you do that, eventually the pain will start to kind of fade away, because you start to work better with the environment that you are in, whatever you're trying to achieve. What does the current chapter look like is we we have the initial hardest days, it's over. Kind of happy about it. At the same time, I'm gonna miss them. And we are improving our product. We are improving day by day and getting feedback from the users. We have a working product that is being used in 3 fields in Finland, and that's the current chapter. What kind of talent am I currently looking for? Well, first of all, talking about Arlens and me personally, I would say that you have to have a lot of courage, you have to have a lot of persistence and character to work with us, and especially work with me. And looking for people who have a lot of integrity, they really want to do great work, and not only want, but they do it because they go through the trouble of doing it. And also, honesty is one of the things that we value. So if something is wrong, we just say it. It's kind of very uncomfortable in the moment, but it pays off very fast. So we just say we prefer truth over comfort. And then the last thing is that we take full ownership. So if we touch something, then we own it. That's our field. And we take full ownership on whatever we're doing. So the values are one of the things that we're certainly looking, and kind of high ability and people who are exceptionally good at software. Yeah, what often surprised people when they joined our company? Well, certainly that the values we state are not just there for the sake of being. They are real, and we have high standards. So it's not that easy to do it really well. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that me personally, I'm a very straightforward person, and I share if I like something. I share if I don't like something. I'm very clear what I like and what I don't like. And also, well, the third one would be maybe the third value, where like if you start to do something, you have to own it. And we expect that from each other. So I think those 3 things that it's not a like we have these values. No, we live them. We live through them. We truly live through them. What makes our culture different from other companies? We have a very kind of a startup culture still. We don't have many people, which I think is a good thing. And what is different is that we are actually very, very demanding of our work. Very demanding. Very high standards. And it makes many people very uncomfortable. There are people who have applied and then they say that they want to join, but I'm like, okay, if I really look at the situation and your kind of character, there's nothing wrong in it, because it's gonna be hard work and it's gonna be like very honest feedback. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because of my goal. My personal goal is to improve over 1 billion lives on this earth for the better. And my plan is to do it through construction technology. And so I firmly believe that this technology, what we are building, once it's fully functional and working, it's gonna change everything. That's my why. That makes me excited every single morning when I get up from the bed. How much have I grown as a person as building this startup? Currently, when we are recording this, it's been 1.5 years, and that's where I started. And I think I kind of went through this kind of a period of struggle where I actually went through, and I started to look myself really objectively and really learning from my lessons, because I realized that for me it started to become more painful not to learn from the lessons of the mistakes of myself than of repeating them, because I started to reflect a lot more, and that's my thing for this. What has been my biggest, like one of the biggest lessons that I've had, if I'm thinking through this by sharing something that would actually help many people, it would be that, well, you have to reflect on what you do, but it's not enough in itself. When that becomes enough is when you measure how are you improving, and if it's actually working what you're doing, or if it's not. And I think it's very important to know when it's working and when it's not working, because then you can decide very fast which direction to go from here. That is one of the biggest lessons that I've gained personally, and I believe that it would help many people who don't have it yet.